Hi, this is Keir from Shopify. Today we're going to have a look at how a Shopify theme is structured. On my desktop I have the skeleton theme, which is available from GitHub. If you search for skeleton-theme and scroll down the search results, you'll find that. That's the Shopify starter theme, which is maintained in-house at Shopify. I've downloaded the zip and extracted the folder, and I'm just going to drop that onto my text editor, which in this case is Sublime Text 2, to open it. Okay, so you see on the left hand side I have a very basic folder structure here. There's only 5 folders, and there are only 5 folders for every Shopify theme. So I thought it would be a good idea to have a quick look in turn and explain what each of them does. Okay, starting at the top we've got our assets folder. Now in Shopify, anything like a graphic, a JavaScript file, a CSS file, that's what we call an asset, and that sits within the assets folder. A lot of people do ask whether you can have nested folders within the assets directory, and the answer is no. And there's a very good reason for that, due to the way that Liquid works and some of the helpers which allow us to link to our files and create image tags and script tags. They all just have to sit in this one folder. It's a different way of working for some people, but once you get used to it, there's really no problem coming from that. As you can see here, we've got a JavaScript file and a CSS file. Let's just have a quick look at those. I'm just going to change the file type there. Within Sublime Text 2, when you have the .liquid extension, whilst there's a plugin that will highlight it for the templates, you'll often have to change the preference down in the bottom right hand corner there, just so that the CSS file displays as you'd expect. Equally, if we'd had an image in there, we'd see that, whether that be a PNG file or JPEG, anything like that. Okay, moving down, we've got our config folder. Now, this is where the file, settings.html, and this is the only one that will have the HTML extension in the whole theme, sits. And this is how we control our theme settings. We'll talk about theme settings a lot more in a future screencast, because I truly believe it's one of the most powerful aspects of Shopify. But essentially, it's field sets, legends, and inputs, things like checkboxes, text areas, text inputs, that kind of thing. This allows us to give the user of the theme or the merchant a lot of control over how their shop functions. So that's where your config settings.html file will live. Going down once more, we have our layout folder. Now layouts are a really powerful feature of Shopify. You'll find them in some other frameworks such as Ruby on Rails, that kind of thing, and other templating languages as well. But essentially a theme layout is what I like to describe as the outer onion skin of your theme. So let's say that on every single page you want to have a header, a sidebar and a footer. That's what you'd use your layout file for, and then all the other templates that we have access to kind of get plumbed into the middle of your layout file. So just scrolling down here, I'm going to show you how that happens. So let me just do a quick search for content for layout, and here it is. Essentially what happens is all of the HTML we've got above and below that will appear on every page, and then where we have content for layout, our templates will be rendered. And I'll explain a little bit more about the templates when we get to that folder, but essentially layouts are really powerful and allow you to have the bulk of your code in one place, so you don't have to keep editing it all over for different templates. It's a really powerful feature. Okay, let's move down one to the snippets. Snippets are effectively includes. So if you had a pagination snippet, it would live in here, and it may be, you could call it pagination.liquid and have all the relevant code for a pagination element to your page. The difference between snippets and layouts are, a layout is kind of global. It will appear on every single page, whereas a snippet, you might want a piece of reusable code such as pagination, but it's not going to appear on every page. So the rule of thumb is, if it's going to appear on every page, use your layout file. If it's a piece of code or piece of HTML that you want to reuse maybe in 1, 2, 3 or 4 places, then have it as a snippet and call it when appropriate. In order to include a snippet, you use the liquid tag include, and we'll look at that again in more detail when we hit the liquid tutorials during this screencast series. Okay, the final folder is the one that you'll find yourself doing most of your work in, and that's the templates folder. Remember how I said that we have content for layout in our theme.liquid file? If we go to the 404.liquid, which is our page not found, you'll notice that there's really very little to it. It's an H1 and an H2 with a link in there. What happens is, if a page isn't found in your store, the theme.liquid file will be rendered, and where it said content for layout, the 404.liquid code, this couple of lines here, that will actually get replaced in there. So you can see that when you're dealing with these templates, you're not dealing with your menus, your footers, your sidebars, just the code that fills the content for layout element in your theme file. Again, let's have another quick look at one of these. This is the page.liquid. This is what you might use for your FAQ page or your about page. And again, if we actually take out the comment here, comments are really useful in the skeleton theme. It really helps explain what all the different templates do, and I encourage you to read those. If we take out the comment, however, we've really got 4 lines of code. And again, if we just have a look in our theme.liquid file, whenever a page is called, the code that we have in page.liquid will get injected into this section here, the content for layout. Okay, so just let me close up a couple of those folders so we can see the templates a bit easier. Okay, so these are the main templates that you need to create a Shopify theme. Your 404, which is your page not found, your article, which is used in the blogs. Blog.liquid, that's the template that's used to, more like an archive page if you're familiar with other blogging platforms. Cart, as the name suggests, is the page where you can see what people have got in their shopping basket, or cart as some people call it. The collection.liquid, again, this is where we have the ability to display our collections in Shopify. So let's say you have a collection for t-shirts. This is the page that would render that, or the template I should say. Index is your home page, and again you can customize that as you see fit. Page we've looked at, that's something that you might use for your FAQ or about page. Your product.liquid, that's the template that renders all your product information, so whether it be the images, the description, the title, and most importantly the add to cart button as well. You'll probably find that in there. Well, you should. And then finally your search.liquid template. This is when you're using the search facility within Shopify, the template that's used to display all the results. Okay, that is the layout of a Shopify theme, the 5 folders and a few sort of files within each one to get started, particularly for this skeleton theme. Hopefully you found that useful and not too complicated, but as always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a mail to kier@shopify.com or find me on Twitter, where my handle is @KierWhitaker. Thanks a lot.